Machlokes B'Shem Beis Hillel, Kon Beis Shammai says, even though the ladder is a sulam shel shovach, it's clear it's for it's to retrieve chickens from the coops. But if you detach it from the shovach and just want to carry it, Beis Shammai says you're not permitted. It's a question of marasayim, because people think you're going to pitch your roof. Beis Hillel says no, you can't. It's not a concern. Okay. So the question is, are we speaking of Sarabim? Where is he carrying this ladder? In public view, or even in Rosh Hashanah where no one sees? So Omer Rav Chona Barami Machlokes B'Rosh Sarabim. Machlokes is only in public view. That since it's a ladder of Asul Shel Shovach, it's obvious he's not going to pitch his roof. This is not the ladder. It's clear he's going to retrieve chickens. Ab Rosh Hashanah. Chona Barami says, but if it would be Rosh Hashanah, Yiver Hakol Mutter. Why? Because there's no Marasayin, nobody sees. Versus Ini, how could it be Rosh Hashanah? It's Mutter. Omer Rav Yud Omer Rav Kol Moksha Chacham Le Marasayin Atil B'Chedrei Chadorim also. Whenever the Chacham say not to do something because of Marasayin, even Chedrei Chadorim, even Chedrei Chadorim, the inner rooms, the inner sanctums, it's also. It's interesting. The Mishnah speaks about a case that a person is a Ben Eretz Yisrael, he's a Chutz Loretz, so I think he cites the Taz and the Bach, that he has to observe all the halachas, even B'Chedrei Chadorim. I mean, person in Israel keeps one of the Yom Tov. He's a Chutz Loretz. So in terms of, let's say, davening, he davens a Tefillah Shel Chol, that's the second day Yom Tov, he doesn't daven the same davening. But what about Malacha, doing certain things? Does he have to be careful? What about he's in the privacy of his room? Does he have to observe it? Right? The reason why he's not permitted to do something publicly, the Gemara says, was a question of machlokes. Because, everybody observes also. You're not observing. It's total disrespect. So it could create a strain of relationship. Therefore, outwardly, he has to behave the way everybody else behaves. It's not doing. So he says, what about in his privacy of his room? So he says over there that there's a concern, because usually it's inevitable, word gets out. That's what he says over the Mishnah Berurah. Of course, the Taz or the Bach, even when nobody's there, ultimately people become aware of what you're doing. Therefore, even B'Chedrei Chadorim, you're not permitted. I mean, what kind of swear is this? I mean, we say that anything they said you're not permitted to do because Marasayan, Afi B'Chedrei Chadorim. Why? If it's Marasayan, it's going to be misconceived, so the person who's doing it, he knows what he's doing. When we speak about Mishanosha Kel B'Mayim, person who was drenched, and he wants to hang it on a clothesline in his backyard, nobody sees. It's not permitted. Why is it not permitted? He knows the reason why he didn't know he didn't launder. He knows he didn't launder his clothing. His family knows he didn't launder his clothing. But people will think he did, but nobody sees it. So you have to say, what kind of story is this? Either you'll say, even this person is careful beyond. But when we make a takana, we don't differentiate between people. It's a little pluk, Even if you find one, it's impossible. Let's make it different. Because since it's inevitable, most people, they're not always totally careful. Look, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he killed the Mitzri, he thought nobody saw. Right? But none of Avihu, they did know. And they informed on him. So you never know. So that's the concept of Afil B'Chedrei Chadorim. But it's interesting. Yesterday I showed from the Pirush in Yoredeya that when we say Afil B'Chedrei Chadorim is Osir, and that's what we paskin, that's only an Issa D'Oraisa. In Isra Rabbanan, we don't say it. Why not? Why not? Because it could be when Isra Rabbanan, it's like Gzera L'Gzera. The only reason why you're not permitted to do is only Asm Rabbanan. There's a chance you may find out. So it's a different takana. You understand? It's like Gzera L'Gzera. Publicly, why aren't you permitted to do it rabbinically? There's a chance somebody may see. So what is that? That's a chance on the Drabonon. You make a Gzera on the Drabonon, on the Takana. That's like a Gzera L'Gzera.
Well, it sounds like the second day Yom Tov, isn't it? Isn't that the second day Yom Tov?
Second day, or other things. Let's see.
So you should be able to do it.
No. But the Malacha you're doing is this D'Oraisa. The Malacha you're doing is this. Well, let's see, Muktzah. Right? See, it's different. Yom Tov itself is, if we look at it as a D'Oraisa. That's a D'Oraisa. Right?
It's not D'Oraisa.
I know, but still, it does make a difference.
Still consider things.
That would be, we treat it like a D'Oraisa. Right? But with chicken and milk. That's Nisdrabona. So now when you puree, what's his name? Almonds, although it looks like milk, we're not concerned. As long as the people there know what's going on. Right? That's the Ramos. So they ask, so that's the answer they give. That the Chedrei Chadorim is only made Nisa Doraisa. Because people say you could do a Nisa Doraisa. Well, who will see it? Because even though the person is Drabonon, let's say a person comes from Eretz Yisrael, but for the person who sees it, for him it's a Sveika Diyoma, right? It's a question which day is Yom Tov. For him, you treat it like a Doraisa. For the person who lives in Chutz La'aretz, you treat that like a Doraisa, not like Drabonon, right? Because you don't know which day is Yom Tov. First day, second day is Yom Tov.
I see. Going back to
Because we're going back to the Marasayan. He'll see it. He may see it. And if he see, what is he going to see? Where he's coming, his vantage point, he's seeing something which is Doraisa. Even though the person who's not permitted to do it may be only Yosem Drabonon because of Marasayan, but the person who may see it, who are we concerned about? The person may see it, he sees him doing this Doraisa, not his Drabonon. So the question is, what about Sunday? So what about Muktzah? When we say he has to be careful, b'chedrei chadorim, what about on Drabonans? Is it only putting on lights, things which are Doraises, or Drabonans, right? So you could say, I don't recall, I don't think we should word is mechalik, because you could say that's one. See, everything is related to Yom Tov. When we speak about chicken and milk, each one is not connected to another. You understand? It's not says Drabonan. You understand what I'm saying? Muktzah is part of the heading Yom Tov. Yom Tov is Doraisa. Understand? So therefore, even Muktzah, he has to be careful in the privacy of his home. The person from Eretz Yisrael, because that's Yom Tov. He's not observing Yom Tov. When you eat chicken with pureed almonds, even if it be milk, it's limited to that. That's not connected to anything else. It's something which is independent of something else. It's not part of a total classification of behavior. I'm saying, okay.
Is it possible to say, the Mishnah Berurah didn't say this well, but we say that the reason that the food the Chadam Chadam was also is even in the Tzachim, because let's say this person went from Israel to the second day, if we allow him to do the Malach in his own privacy, during the Tzachim, then he might just forget. They'll go out publicly. In his own mind, it creates a potential confusion. Like
But that's not it.
Makes him susceptible to crossing the line in the public as well. So, like, to protect that.
But that's not the mashmos. Maras ayin is from the person
No,
outside.
I understand.
That's maras ayin.
I understand. I think that's
So is that the way we rule? That someone from Eretz Yisrael comes here second day Yom Tov?
He's not permitted. He has to observe it. He has to observe it.
I thought that was a common practice. It's not.
Boy, what's not?
That the second day Yom Tov, as long as no one saw you.
No.
you do things in the confines of
There
the
are
home.
some who agree, but the way it's ruled la'alocha, he has to observe
Complete, so it's everything.
everything. Yeah. So the Gemara says, how could Rav Chana Barami say the machlokas b'sham yisilos b'shus harabim? Rav Yudam Rav. So Rashi says, so what? He's an Amora. So he says, because he was from the Gedolei Ador, he was from the leading. So how could Rav Chana Barami argue? That's what Rashi said, right? He says, outside he was the leading Torah sage of the generation. So how could Rav Chana Barami disagree? Gemara says Tanoi. This issue over here is a machlokes Tanoim. The Tanya. Shotchum bechamo. It says what? You're permitted to hang your clothing in the sun. Avalo keneged om. But if you hang it, it cannot be in public view. Why? Because Marasayim. But right, Shotchum, you could do it in the privacy of your home, when nobody else sees, but not keneged om. So according to the Tanakh, what's the year of the opinion? That's even though it's awesome Marasayim, Chedrei Chadorim, it's permitted. Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon Ocean, then I'm differentiate. So what we're discussing is, so Reb Chonan Barami, he's going according to the Tanakh, right? That he differentiates between Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon, they don't. It's Tanoi. I'll tell you what my difficulty is. Rashi asked the question. What's the Gemara asking Reb Chonan Barami? Right? He's an Amora. They're asking for Rabbi. He's an Amora. He's in there because he's Rabban Shol Kol Bnei Agola. He's the Torah sage of all the diaspora. So how could you argue with him? He says, no, he's not. But factually, Rab's position, we have Machlos Tanakam, Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon. How did Rab rule? Right? He ruled like Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon. What difference does it make if it's his svara? He has a svara, and he's Rabban Shol Bnei Agola, you can't argue with him. And if there's a Machlokas Tanakam and Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon, and Rab rules like Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon, why isn't it the same thing? How does he argue with him? If Rab felt that's the correct position to assume, how do you argue? Right? Well, why isn't it the same question? When the Gemara asked the question, how How could you would say Rav says differently? So Rashi says what? He's in the Emor. How do you? The answer is because he's Rabban Shobin Kol B'nei Agola. He's the leading Torah sage of all the Torah outside of Eretz Yisrael. Therefore, Rav Chambra, how do you argue? You can't argue with Rav. Correct? So now, Gemara says Tanoi, it's Machlokes Tanoim. But how did Rav rule regarding this Machlokas? He rules like Rav Elazar Reb Shimon. No, but it's the same idea. But it's the same. Does make a difference. But the whole idea is your discretion in halacha.
Right.
How do you argue with Rabban Shobin B'nei Kol Agola?
Right.
What's if he's the originator of the svara, or you're taking a position of one of them? Factually, he holds la halacha. This is the way you have to conduct yourself.
Right.
You know, it's like Rav Moshe Paskins this way, and you, little rabbi, I disagree with Rav Moshe. What do you mean disagree? He tells that's the halacha because we follow this opinion. That's the opinion you follow.
Okay.
Let's. I just want to see Rashi on that again.
Are we talking about the clothing? We're talking about the ladder? About
Same thing. Says Tanoi. Let's see. Ika Tano Dekoi Kavosek. Shotchem Bechama Mishano Shekel Bederech Miksham Shotchem Becham Veinog Melein. Avalo Kenegedom. This Tanakamo. Shelo Yom Lo Kivsam the Shabbos. You can't do it in public view because people say he laundered him on Shabbos. That's Tanakamo. Alma Midi Dimshmar Sai Muter B'Mokom Tzenua. So the Tanakam says, as long as it's a concealed location, it's not a problem. So Rabbi Barami is going following that, the first Tanakama. Okay? Let's see, Kiveger. Tosa says verbatim Rashi. Okay, I mean you have to say something similar to what you were saying. That if you're the originator of this svara, who's more in stand? Who has a greater grasp of understanding? Rav. But once you have a representation, even though Rav rules like the other one, the fact that Tanakh disagrees. You know what I mean? It blunts it a little bit. Takes off the edge. Go head to head with Rav, you can't go head to head with Rav and svara. You can't. You're an Amora. Even though it's interesting, there's a Shaila Aloha. Tosa speaks about it on other locations. You have a Machlokas. It's Rav and Rabbi Shua ben Levi, or Rabbi Yochanan and Shua ben Levi. Who do you rule like? There's a certain Amoroim were at a certain level, certain stature. Who do you rule like? Rabbi Shua ben Levi or Rabbi Yochanan? Rav and Shmuel. Okay, we know that Rav and Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Rav and Rabbi Yochanan. Who would you rule like? But there, even though in certain ways Rabbi Yochanan was also great, but Rav in certain areas was greater than Rabbi Yochanan. So over there it's a question. But evidently Rav Chana Barami, he was a much lesser. No, he was much lesser. That's the reason why we had the issue. Okay, let's go further into the Gemara. Iga de Amri, another version. So the first version was Rav Chana Barami said the Machlokas is B'shus HaRabim, B'shus HaYochid. Everybody agrees it's permitted because there's no Marasayim B'shus HaYochid. Beisil holds in B'shus HaRabim there's no Marasayim because it's a ladder which is designated for what? To retrieve chickens. Finished. Iga de Amri. Omer Rav Chana Barami Machlokas B'shus HaYochid. The Rang B'shus HaYochid. The Beishami Yislu. The Rav Yudam Rav. Beishami follows the position of Yudam Rav that something that's also Mishum Marasayim, Afi B'chedrei Chadori, right? Something that you're not permitted to do because Marasayim in public view, even the privacy of your home you're not permitted to do. Beisil Leslu is Rav Yudam Rav, right? He argues if Marasayim, for Marasayim applies. Chedrei Chadorim, Al B'shus HaRabim, Divrei HaKol Oser. So now Mar says, Lema Rav do Omake Beishamai. Rav follows Beishamai. How could he follow Beishamai? Beisham Moka Beisil, enemy we said yesterday, he has no standing. So how could you say that what? We're saying Beishamai is Rav's position. That means Rav is saying like Beishamai. So how could Rav hold like Beishamai versus Beisil? Tanoi. The Tanyo. Shotchan Bechamo, Avalo Kenegedom. Tanakamo. 1 second. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon, Osrin. Yeah. No, there's a Tosafos somewhere. It says, whenever there's machlok Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish, we rule like who? Like Rabbi Yochanan. Rish Lakish was a Talmud of Rabbi Yochanan. Except there are like three exceptions. The three things we rule like Rish Lakish. So the Tosafos in the fourth part of Yavamis asks, because over there it's also machlok Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish, we rule like Rish Lakish. So what is it? Three. There's a fourth. So Tosafos says when there are other Amoroim involved in the machlokas, it's only if it's a machlokas which is limited to themselves. Then it's three. But if there are other Amoroim involved, either Rish Lakish is one of the opinions, we can rule like Rish Lakish. Because it's not Rish Lakish pitted against Rabbi Yochanan. So I'm saying like this. What was the question? Rav holds like Beishamai. Right? Because in the position of Mishnah, Beishamai is the one who says that you can't take the Sulam, Vishavach L'Shovach. Right? You can't take from one to another. Why? Because anything that's also Mishamar Sayin, if you B'chedjech Hadorm is not permitted. The fact that that's Beishamai's position. Versus no, there are other Tanoim. So it comes out, La Locha, he's ruling the Beishamai. He is ruling the Beishamai. Misham Mokum Beis Hillel ain't a Mishnah. It's not a problem. Because the basis is what? Or other Tanoim. The Tanakama, according to Rabbi Lozer, Reb Shimon, they don't differentiate. So if that's the case, they're of the opinion also that the Sulam, you're not permitted to take what? You can't take Mishavach Shovach, even though it's the privacy of your home. See Rashi. Lema Rav Dom Kivishamai, the Rav Chonon Kaporich, Dukel Beisilo, Rishus HaRabbi Masri, Rishus Shorim came the Rav Chonon, so according to Rav Chonon, Rav Dom Komoksha Osru, Domek Beishamai Bitmio, how's it possible? Rav is following Beishamai. Habadi Lashav Beisilo, Vovik Beishamai, Valkochel Beisilel, so that you must say, that Rishus HaRabbi Mutter, like we originally wanted to say, according to the first opinion, that according to Beisilel, it's permitting Rishus HaRabbi. Why? Bishum the Shofchom Mochicholov. He wouldn't have said this because there's no way Rav would follow the position of Beishamai. You hear this? He's saying some Rav holds Beisil permits even Rishus HaRabim. Not like we just said. Right here, not like I wanted to say, because like Tosafos says in Yavamis, of course there are other people involved. Rav's of the opinion Beisil permits it even Rishus HaRabim. Since there's no Marasayan, period, like we wanted to say, because since it's a ladder of a Shovach, people will not confuse this. Right. Okay. So if that's the case, we're not getting involved. It has nothing to do with Rav's position. Rav Sova Beisil Afil Rishus HaRabim Shori. Upolag Olai. Vano Darmi Kaitano, the Amishotrim Bechamad, Leslu the Rav. Yeah, this is Rav Chonon speaking. Rav holds Beisila permits it even in Rishus HaRabim. Right. Okay? Because we have the concept Shovchom Uchicholov. Upolagalai. And Rav Chonon Barami says Rav argues with me. Vanodamri Kaitano, Domishotrim Bechamor, Lesl the Rav. And I hold like Rav Chonon, I hold Shotrim Bechamor, Leslie the Rav. V'utana muki Beis Hillel kavoseit lo itira el b'shus hayochid v'Reb Eliezer v'Reb Shimon Tzvielu karav mukbi shar yusa the Beis Hillel b'masdisa afil Rishus HaRabim. So they who hold right, Reb Eliezer, Reb Shimon, they hold it's not. So Beis Hillel, what does Beis Hillel hold? Beis Hillel holds even Rishus HaRabim is permitted, because otherwise Reb Eliezer, Reb Shu, and Reb Shimon are arguing Beis Hillel. The Kosav Shochem Chigol Beishamai, Leslu Shochem Chigol Ba'ashi Afil B'Chadjech Hadorim, Shvoshen the Rav Kaporich, V'Omalach Rav Tanoi, Lav Milsi, the Ma'arvusa, the Rabbi Eliezer Reb Shimon, Mok Beisilel, Beishamai Nami Tuva Havu. He says, why? Reb Shimon Mok Beisilel, Beishamai Nami Tuva Havu. Hear what he's saying? It's not so poshut. He's saying the Seish Forship says it's Rabbi Eliezer Reb Shimon. He says no. Beishamai were also many. So adding another two people to the roster. Beishamai is not Shammai. It's Beishamai. So even though there were many of them, we don't rule like that. So you're adding another two opinions. Rabbi Eliezer Shimon, they agree with Beishamai. Therefore what? But you're still going against Beis Hillel. Ve'in alocha kamosa. I'll tell you, it's Arachiyim. Rashi is saying, why is he rejecting the Yishim Farshim? Because by mentioning it's Rabbi Elazar Shimon, why is that any better than Beis Shammai? Right? That's what he says. Because Beis Shammai, Nami Tu B'Havu, there were many Beis Shammai. So, okay, according to the first version in the Gemara, right? The first version says that Rav Yehuda Marav says, Rav Chana Barami says the Machlokes is in Rishus HaRabim, but Rishus HaYach is not a problem. Somewhere it says, but how could that be? Rav Yehuda Marav says, wherever the Chachomim asked Marsa Efil B'Chedri Chadorim Zoser. So you say, and how do you, Rav Chana Bar, how could you argue with Rav? Rav is an Amora, right? So what is the more answer? Tanoi. Tanoi. It's Machlokes Tanoim. 1 second. Even though Beis Shammai is one of them, right? Beis Shammai is also one of them. Because Beis Shammai says that, no, Beis Shammai says, 1 second. No, Beis Shammai is not one of them. Wait, not one of them. The other question was, how does he argue with Rav? It's not Beis Shammai. It's not Beis Shammai. According to the first version of the Gemara, Rav Chana Bar Ami says, where are they arguing? Rishus HaRabim. Rishus HaYochid, everybody agrees it's permitted. Right? The latter. When you're taking it to public view, private view it's not. Versus, but fact, Rav says differently. So the question was from Rav on Rav Chana Bar Ami. Okay? The second, we have Beis Shammai. He said, well, there are other Tana besides Beis Shammai. Doesn't make a difference. Right? So you're adding another 2 people to the roster. It's all the same. Yeah, Rashi's good.
I don't think that the Rashi is rejecting that
No.
Laura that Laura wanted to say that when there's more than 2 people, you could,
No. You can't, because you know why you can't say it. We say Rabbi Yochanan's understanding is so superior to Rish Lakish, except in 3 areas. In 3 areas, Rish Lakish was more correct. Okay, that was the valuation of the Moroim. So what about if you have? We found a 4th case. It's not Rish Lakish's way of thinking. There are others. Beis Shammai, the position itself is a baseless position. So you can add as many as you want to the roster. It doesn't make a difference. If Beis Hillel rejects it, it's rejected. Doesn't make a difference. You follow Howard?
Yes. You said that yesterday.
No. With making differentiation. Rabbi Yochanan, whenever Rish Lakish argues with him, Rabbi Yochanan is always right, except for three. So for Rish Lakish, what about if I find a 4th where other people agree with Rish Lakish? So it's clear it's not Rish Lakish's way of thinking.
No, it's where he's based on.
No, he was machavin to what they're also saying.
Okay.
But the indication that it's not limited, because you see other people assume that understanding.
Okay.
So just because Rabbi Yochanan argues doesn't mean say that's faulty thinking. In every other case, 2 of them, it's faulty. There's a flaw in that. But here there's no flaw because you see the others also hold of it. But Beis Shammai, it's Beis Shammai's position, and Beis Hillel rejects it. That means it's a flawed position.
Right.
So what difference makes other people agree with it? They all agree with a flawed position.
Right.
Okay? Is there more perked coffee or it's finished? I'm not asking for the curiosity.
Good.
Okay? No, I don't want you to go in the back. Just over here. If not, forget about it. I'll get it later. Okay. Tosis just quotes Rashi almost verbatim, bottom Tosis. Okay, further. Okay, Mastis lo ki aitano. Our Mishnah, that where it states Bisham Beis Hillel regarding transporting the ladder is not going like this Tana. What is it? The Tanya, during the B'raisa. Now, it's interesting. Rashi says, our Mishnah that says, according to Beis Shammai, that you're not permitted to transport the ladder with Rishus Rabim, although you need the ladder for Simchas Yom Tiv. Marasayim is the overriding factor. It's irrelevant. We're not going to permit Marasayim. Correct? That's our Mishnah. According to Beis Shammai.
So sorry, we have two Rishonos, two ways of learning our Mishnah. One is that these are machlokas and Rishus Rabim.
But Rishus is permitted. That's the first.
Everybody holds the sheet.
Because they don't hold the Rav.
They don't hold the Rav.
Or no, the machlokes is what? The B'Shem Beis Hillel is this Shiloh. Something that's also B'Rishus Rabim, B'Rishus Rabim, B'Shmar Sayin, Afilu Chedrich Hadar Moser. That's Beis Shammai's position. Beis Hillel holds differently. And that's Rashi says. So what does Rav hold? Rav holds that Beis Hillel holds. No, it's put in B'Rishus Rabim. But according to Beis Shammai, Simchas Yom Tov, if it's a Shmar Sayin, Simchas Yom Tov is not an overriding factor. Right? So that we're saying, Mastis lo kaitano. Rashi says, Tiktoni bolocha sula pligi, v'lav kaitano tiktoni bolocha modu u'neishetzorch yom tefi. Here, it's permitted. Why? Because it's tzorch. But if it would not be a tzorch yom tif, we also wouldn't let you take the ladder. So it's because it's tzorch yom tif. You need the ladder to retrieve the chickens.
So that Shammai is saying...
Not Shammai, Beis Shammai.
Sorry. Beis Shammai says you
On a
can.
first name basis. Yeah, what's going on over here?
We're taking the chickens to slaughter them?
Yeah, that's what
Right.
he's...
So we already established in the last one that you simply like covering the dam, that if you could have the animal.
No. There's a different concept. They're different.
But we're reversing. So here, Shammai is saying you can do
Beis
it.
Shammai.
Beis Shammai says you can, and now
Whoa. That's different over there.
Why is it?
This is
different?
Marasayim.
But
This is
it's-
Marasayim. There's something else. There's
you
the
see-
questions. Makalkel u'mlachshet shikil gufa.
But covering the blood is still an idea of Marasayim.
No, it's not. No, it has nothing to do with the covering blood's not the problem. It's how do you get, if you would prepare the earth. Everybody agrees you could slaughter l'chatchila, cover the earth with the earth, right? They're arguing we did not prepare. That's where they're arguing.
With the muktzah, right?
If you prepared it, you could cover the blood. There's no problem covering the blood.
But we had another idea that because of Simchas Yom Tov, you can do certain things even if you don't cover the blood. So why can't you cover? And that was Shammai. Shammai was Beis Shammai said you can do certain things if no good.
There's no Shammai. Here we're talking Marasayim.
Okay.
According to Beis Shammai, he's saying Marasayim is not is interferes with Simchas Yom Tov.
Right.
Okay? So it says, our Mishnah argues with this Tanya. Omer Reb Shimon Elazar, Modim Beisham Beisil Shel Molichin Es Asulim Shovel L'Shol. It says explicitly. Our Mishnah says Beisham you cannot take the ladder from one coop to another. You have to take it tilted from window to window to show it's clearly you're not taking it any other purpose, but only to retrieve chickens.
Right.
Lo nechel laharzir. Hear this? Okay. What about if you want to put it back to the original window where you had it? Right? But you could take from shovach l'shovach, right?
To bring it back.
What if it take it back? So take it back. There's no simchas yom tif.
Right.
Going is simchas yom tif. On the way back, there's no simchas yom tif.
Okay.
Shebishamei omrim ei marzirin.
Okay.
You're not permitted. The only reason is there is a slight Indian of Marasayim. There is, but simchas yom tif is the overriding factor.
But here.
Wait. So Beishamei holds Marasayim.
Good.
Beisil omrim af marzirin. You could even take it back. See, the two ways to explain it. You could take it back either because he holds it's not Marasayim whatsoever, because it's Shulim Shel Shovach. Right?
Okay.
Factually, there is a degree you shouldn't allow it, because people could say.
Right.
But Simchas Yom Tov is more important. We're not concerned what people will say.
Okay.
Right? Beisil holds, you could take it. No problem. Take it going forward. Now, why return it? According to Beis Shammai, why can't you return it? Because it's only Simchas Yom Tov.
Right.
Beis said the reason why you could turn, maybe because originally it was never a problem. Because since it's Sulam Shel Shovach, it was never a problem. Well, no. Because the Gemara is going to speak about Matir Sof Mishum Tchiloso. Because if you don't allow a person to bring it back originally, eventually he's not taking it initially.
Good.
You know, it's interesting. Years ago, there was a certain person, very wealthy man, quasi, Shomer Shabbos, and he had a son-in-law who was a surgeon, and he was the King David for Yom Tif, in the Pesach Sukkos, and he had a specialty. I think it was in astrology. And all of a sudden, a group of people come to the Fifth Avenue Synagogue, and they were Ger Hasidim. And because they knew this doctor was there, and the Ger Rebbe, this is the Beis Yisrael, talking about going back, this is in the early 70s, has some kind of intestinal problem, they're concerned. So they want him to come examine the Rebbe on Yom Tif. So they sent a car to bring the doctor from it's Yom Tif, first day Yom Tif, from the hospital to see the Rebbe. Came, checked him out, whatever happened. Went back. He says to go back. He says, how am I getting back? So sorry, you got to walk back. He says, you sent the car to bring me. What about to bring me back when I'm supposed to walk back? And it's whatever it is, a 40-minute walk. So I'm sorry, we can't provide the car. So why could you provide it coming? He says the answer is because, it was a question of Koach Nefesh. So, but now there's no head to give you the car to go back. So he says, something? Next time when you call me, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. So the Shah said, so why should it be permitted? Because Yamat is sof mishum tchiloson. Because if you don't allow him to go back, he's not coming the first time. So now there's a question of halacha by an Issa D'Oraisa. No, that's all is much more. Because unless they go back to the base, there's another call coming in. That's the reason. Right. It's a continuous pikuach nefesh. But there's a famous chasam sofer to say matisov. All the cases in the Gemara are rabbinic laws, marasayin or whatever it may be, tircha, near kabinyon, right? It looks like you're building. All rabbinic laws. But by Adoraisa, we don't say matisov b'shem tchiloso. So over there, if a goy would take him back, okay. We're talking about a Jewish cab driver would take him back. So for a Jew to mechal Yom Tif, that you're not permitted. Okay? We'll see. So this Tana says, Reb Shimon Loza says, Moed ve'ishav yisul shem lichasul shav v'chshav v'donechu el lahazir. Shemai shavishami omrim ein marzir, ve'yisul omrim af marzirin. You can even return the ladder. Amr Rav Yehuda, the medvar murim misum shoshovach. They're arguing with the ladder is a coop ladder. So it's obvious it has an association with what? With the chick coop. Avusum shel aliyah divrei kaloser. So he holds, the Tana B'Rais holds, Reb Shimon Loza, but if it would be an ordinary ladder, everybody, that's asum shel aliyah means in the old days, you think they had fixed staircases. Person living on the second story, he had a ladder, you would climb the ladder and go to the second story. Mm-hmm. So that ladder is a versatile type ladder. So if you have to fix your roof, pitch your roof, use that ladder. There, even Beis Hillel agrees that it's osur, right? Avusum shel aliyah divrei kol osur. Osur what? To bring back or even to take initially, right? Let's see, Rashi. Avusum shel aliyah dahu vadei amri latir kagut tzarich. Okay, now, so if that's the case, maybe even going, understand? Maybe. Beis Shammai says he was saying by Sulam Shel Shovach. You could say there's a slight degree of Marasayin. But let's say is Vadi Marasayin overrides Simchas Yom Tov? Maybe not. Meaning, definitely people will confuse it. It's not a question. If it's a regular ladder which has multiple uses, and people use this ladder to pitch roofs, maybe, right?
But if Beis Shammai permitted in the case of the ladder that's used for birds.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the two ways to learn that. Right. Either you could learn that that most people may not see it as that, but since there's a certain element right. We should ask her Simchas Yom Tov the question: is it an overriding factor? Not overriding factor. Beis Hillel holds it's an overriding factor. You don't have to worry about it. Therefore, we could take it. Beis Shammai says no, you can't take it. Right? What about by a ladder that's used for many things? Sum Shel Aliyah. Rashi says. It says Osir, Dahu Vadayamri. So it could be here the Marasayin is a stronger Marasayin. Otherwise, Rashi, Amri, Latir Gagut Tzarech. Like we said, what's Rashi adding the Vaday? Definitely it's going to be seen as that. Understand?
Okay. But then again, it's
no, not where it's Vaday. That's I'm differentiating. That's my question. Is it because it's Vaday is not sufficient, or do you say no? Right. This is on the return. It's not at the undergoing.
Does it become a muktzah? Yes, sir?
We're not talking about the ladder. The problem is not touching the ladder because of muktzah.
No, but the Morzai is...
First it says Mateo Michalon L'Chalon. Chalon Chalon is not.
Right.
So you see it's not muktzah.
So it's specific to get those chickens.
Yeah, but you're carrying it where it's not associated with the coop.
Right.
So when person sees you carrying that ladder, what are they saying?
So we understand that when it wasn't by the window and that you took a ladder and moved it, that was awesome.
According to Beisham, everybody, if it's a versatile ladder, everybody would agree you're not permitted to.
If it's specific, it's on the window, then you can.
Not if it's on the, even that.
Well, there, you can use
It's
it.
leaning against the coop.
Right.
So it's clear what he's using it for.
Right.
So he's not going to pitch a roof with it. But if he's just walking down the street carrying it, it's Marasayan.
Right, that's it in the public. If it's private, you can do it. But now we're saying going from window back to the original position.
Yep.
So that should be Yachid again. So it should be in his private domain. You should be able to do it.
Again, not getting confused with this.
That's going on the Sefer. Because he says Beisil with the Matir, and that's only by Sulam Shal Sefer.
He needs to take it, like I'm saying.
No, on the return, because he's saying, but by this type of ladder, Beisil Beisil only argued Beishamai on the return. He's saying Beisil who permitted.
Not only. I mean, according to this Tana.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm saying Rabbeinu Chanal seems to be learning that this B'mad V'Mamurim is going on the return case. That Divrei Kol Asurim, even Beisil who permitted to begin with to return it, they would admit that. But on the taking, it sounds like it's kind of because he's adding the Beisil the material.
Okay.